Hello and welcome everyone, it's Gengo. Today we're going to be taking an in-depth look at all the sidearms in Valorant, but before we do, I just want to say thank you to everyone who left me feedback on my last video, and all the love and support that was shown in my last video, which was nothing short of amazing. I definitely want to make my uploads a lot more consistent for you all, so I've decided that I'm going to be releasing gameplay highlights and informational guide type videos every Tuesdays and Fridays respectively. Now, back to the video at hand. Typically, sidearms in Valorant are primarily used on the respective starting rounds, being round 1 and 13, as most pistols generally have low fire rates and low damage over range, but they can also be handy in clutch scenarios. This isn't to say that pistols are bad guns in Valorant, because they're not. When purchased in the correct situations, however, pistols can be used to cover the weaknesses of your primary weapon or overall help your economical state in game. First up, we have the classic pistol. This pistol is in the middle of the pack when it comes to damage and range, and it's the basic pistol everyone starts with. Let's start with what everyone wants to know first, damage. The classic's damage profile is 78 damage per shot up until 30 meters, and after 30 meters it will be 66 damage per shot to the head. The body shot damage is 26 to 22, and the leg shot damage is 22 to 18. This means that the classic can 2-tap to the head in its optimal range, and if you're hitting all body shots, it can take up to 6 shots to kill against someone with full armor and HP. Rate of fire for the classic is higher than average for the sidearm class at 6.75 shots per second, and it has a magazine capacity of 12 bullets and 36 bullets in reserve, which is average for this class and should be enough for a few kills. As for reload time, this has the second fastest reload speed in the sidearm class at 1.75 seconds. And the wall penetration value is low for this weapon, so don't expect to wall bang effectively with this. Overall time to kill for this weapon is slightly faster than average for the sidearm class, but pretty consistent. With the classic, you're able to kill as fast as 296 milliseconds if you're able to hit a 2-tap to the head, but it can be as slow as 1037 milliseconds if it takes 6 shots to kill. Now, accuracy wise, the classic is good for the first 3 to 5 shots at about 0 to 20 meters, but at ranges further than that, you won't want to spam this, so consider tapping your shots or, spacing your shots in bursts for better results. This all sounds decent for the classic, especially considering that it's the only free gun in the game, but if we also factor the classic's alternate fire, then we can also see that the classic can be even stronger in the right scenarios. However, with the classic, we don't only want to use alternate rate of fire all the time to kill someone, since it shoots slower than the normal rate of fire at 2.2 shots per second if you're spamming right click, and the spread of the 3 bullets can be a bit whack at about 10 meters plus. But what you can do to decrease your time to kill with the classic is to combo 2 to 3 normal shots into your 3-shot burst, and this can drop people really quick in about 0 to 10 meters. Any further than that, I'd suggest regularly firing the classic, as the 3-shot spread can be really whack like I said before. With all of this said, I think the classic pistol is an amazing choice for pistol rounds, since your time to kill will still be really competitive against all the other pistols, and it allows you to buy light armor and or your abilities on those starting rounds. Moving on, we have the Shorty, which is the cheapest gun in Valorant at only 200 credits. This little surprise can pack a punch when least expected, but it can quickly become a confetti cannon if used in the wrong scenarios. Since this is technically a shotgun, the damage profile for the weapon is quite different, as it fires 12 pellets per shot. The damage per pellet for the Shorty is 36 to the head at 0 to 9 meters, 24 at 9 to 15 meters, and 9 damage at 15 meters onwards. The body will be 12 to 8 to 3 per pellet, and leg shots are 10 to 6 to 2 damage per pellet. This damage basically means that you can only one-shot someone with the Shorty at 0 to 9 meters if you land one headshot and various other body or leg shots. At ranges further than 9 meters, expect the Shorty to tickle people with Skittles or marshmallows, as the spread gets super wide at range. As for rate of fire, we can see that it's the slowest in the pistol class at only 3.3 shots per second, and it has the lowest amount of ammo loaded at 2 in the barrel, since it's a double barrel shotgun, and 10 extra shells in reserve. As for the reload speed with the Shorty, which you're probably going to be doing a lot with this weapon, takes 1.92 seconds, which is the second slowest in the class, and the wall penetration value for this weapon is low, so don't expect to do anything through walls with this. Time to kill with the Shorty, if you get a one-shot kill, will of course be instant, but if you need to land 2 or 3 shots, then it'll take 606 milliseconds to 909 milliseconds to drop someone, and that doesn't take into account the reload time since the Shorty is only a double-barrel shotgun. All this means, of course, that you really just want to be up close to land as many pellets as possible so you can get that one-shot kill. You could typically land that one-shot kill at 0 to 8 meters, which is decent for the price of the gun, but at ranges further than that, your spread will be way too whack and you'll start shooting Skittles at people. So again, you just want to make sure that you're playing in the Shorty's optimal range of 0 to 8 meters against someone that's 150 HP, or you're going to have a bad time. In short, the Shorty is a very deadly and inexpensive choice if you're looking to play at very close ranges, but it does have its drawbacks and it can become next to useless by itself at any sort of ranged fight. Next up, we have the Frenzy, which is the third most expensive pistol in the game at only 400 credits. The Frenzy does have a very similar damage profile to the Classic, but with a much faster rate of fire and lower range overall. The damage number for this gun, again, is very similar to the Classic at 78 damage per shot to the head at 0 to 20 meters, and then drops off to 63 damage per shot after 20 meters. The body is 26 to 21 per shot, and leg shots are 22 to 17 per shot at range. This means that the Frenzy can 2-tap to the head at 0 to 20 meters, which is great, but if you don't hit your headshots, then you'll likely take 5 to 7 shots to kill, depending on your opponent's HP. The rate of fire for the Frenzy is the fastest out of all pistols at 10 shots per second, which is what you want to take advantage of, but it does have a kind of small mag size of 13 shots in mag with 39 in reserve, so this means that the Frenzy can unload its full mag in a little over a second. Its reload speed is also in the middle of the pack at 1.87 seconds, and wall penetration for this weapon is also low, so wall bangs aren't very useful for this weapon. Now over to time to kill. If you land 2 headshots, you can 2-tap someone at 150 HP to the head at 0 to 20 meters in only 200 milliseconds, which is very quick. But if you're playing like a leg shot Larry, then it can take up to 7 shots to kill, which will take 700 milliseconds, which is pretty slow. Recoil and bullet spread for the Frenzy is low to moderate for the first 3 to 4 shots at 0 to 10 meters, then it starts to kick up high relative to your first 3 to 4 shots. At ranges further than 10 meters, you may be better off with bursting a few shots or tapping 1 shot at a time, as the spread will likely be too bad to control. Overall, the Frenzy keeps a great time to kill in its up close range because of its fast fire rate and good damage, but its optimal damage range will drop off faster than most of the other pistols in Valorant. To continue, we have the Ghost, which is the second most expensive pistol in the game at 500 credits, and it seems to be the favorite for a lot of players because of its great headshot damage and faster than average rate of fire. The damage for the Ghost is the second highest in the pistol category at 105 to the head at 0 to 30 meters, and it drops off to 87 damage per shot after 30 meters. Body shots deal 30 to 25 damage, and leg shots deal 25 to 21 damage per shot. This means that if somebody has 100 HP, you can simply 1-tap them to the head for an immediate kill at 0 to 30 meters. Rate of fire on the Ghost is the same as the Classic at 6.75 shots per second, so it does have a similar time to kill as the Classic does. Magazine capacity with the Ghost is highest for the sidearms, having 15 bullets in your mag and 45 in reserve. As for the reload speed, this is the quickest in class at only 1.62 seconds. The Ghost also has the benefit of medium wall penetration, which works well for shooting through some corners and various amounts of cover. Now looking at time to kill, we can see that you can 2-tap someone to the head for a fairly quick time to kill of 296 milliseconds, but if you're hitting legs like an unfixed puppy, then you'll need 6 shots to kill, which will take 889 milliseconds, kind of painfully slow. This time to kill is surprisingly similar to the Classic, as it has the same fire rate, but the Ghost has way better headshot damage and damage overall, which can result in a 1-tap if the opponent doesn't have armor or is low. As for the Ghost's accuracy, it's overall good at 0 to 20 meters, just like the Classic, for about 3 to 5 shots, but after 20 meters you will want to fire in couple shots or space shots for best results. And that can work well since you have a decent rate of fire and enough ammo to spare with the Ghost. After reviewing the Ghost stats, it definitely has its rightful place in the meta, as it has a competitive time to kill, good accuracy over range, and great 1-tap potential against enemies with low HP or no armor. Last but not least, we have the Sheriff, which is the most expensive pistol at 800 credits. This pistol has the highest damage and best range out of all the pistols in class, but it overall does have slower handling stats and rate of fire. damage numbers for the Sheriff are again quite high at 159 damage per shot to the head up until 30 meters, and it drops down to 145 damage per shot after 30 meters. Body shots will deal 55 to 50 at range, and leg shots will deal 46 to 42 damage per shot at range. This all means that the Sheriff has an amazing one-tap potential for a pistol even at range if they're low. And looking into rate of fire, we can see that this is the second slowest rate of fire for the pistol class at only 4 shots per second, so your time to kill will rapidly increase if you start to miss your shots. As for mag size, there are only 6 shots in the cylinder as it is a revolver, and you'll carry 24 rounds in reserve. The reload animation is also the slowest in the sidearm class at 2.25 seconds, so you don't want to be caught with your pants down or reloading out in the open, and you'll have to reload often since you only have 6 rounds in the chamber. As for the time to kill with the Sheriff, you can of course get a one-tap insta-kill if you hit the head at 0 to 30 meters, no matter their HP. But your time to kill can be as excruciatingly slow as 1000 milliseconds, which is a full second if you happen to hit 4 leg shots or start to miss your shots. Since damage doesn't change too much over range with the Sheriff, it can still one-tap if your enemy has taken a little bit of damage. If they stubbed their toe, maybe the wind blew the wrong direction, doesn't matter. Accuracy for the Sheriff is great, even at range, if you space your shots properly and let your crosshair and gun fully reset the center. But the recoil/spread pattern is moderate to high if you're spamming shots as fast as you possibly can. All in all, the Sheriff is a high risk, high reward type of weapon, being able to one tap in the right hand, but you can be punished hard if you don't hit your one taps or you start to miss your shots overall. Now let's take a look at the times to kill for the pistols at varying amounts of HP. Assuming that your enemy has 100 HP, you'll immediately notice that the Ghost, Sheriff, and Shorty all look dominant, with all having one-shot potential at 100 HP. However, remember that the Shorty's one-shot potential does fall off fairly hard after about 8 meters. So, since the Ghost is able to one-tap at this HP and keeps a much more consistent time to kill than the Sheriff, the Ghost is likely the weapon to choose in this scenario. Also, the Frenzy and Classic may not have the same one-shot potential as the other sidearms do at this amount of HP, but as shown here, they can still keep up with the other pistols in the game in the time to kill department, mainly because of the Frenzy's amazing fire rate and the Classic's 3-shot burst combo. Next, let's assume that your enemy has 125 HP, meaning that they've bought a light shield at the start of the round. If we take that into account, we can see that the Sheriff and Shorty, as long as you're in the 0 to 8 meter optimal range for the Shorty, will be the only 2 sidearms with one-shot potential. And while the Ghost, Frenzy, and Classic remain with great times to kill with the same amount of HP, you will need to land 1 or more headshots to kill, depending on the type of pistol you're chosen. With that said, I believe that the Frenzy stands out here as it has a very consistent time to kill due to its fast rate of fire, manageable recoil, and decent damage per bullet. But make sure that you're in the optimal range of 0 to 20 meters so you can minimize your time to kill as much as possible. Finally, let's see how pistols fare when your enemy has bought heavy armor, which means they have 150 effective HP. Here, we can see that the Sheriff is still the one-tap king in this situation, but remember that your time to kill will significantly increase if you don't land that one-tap. The Shorty will also be able to one-shot, but you still need to be at that same 0 to 8 meters for optimal damage, and pray that your bullets hit their mark. As for the pistol with the next fastest time to kill at 150 HP, that is given to the Ghost and Classic with the optimal burst fire combo, as long as you can hit 1 headshot. However, if you're firing normally with the Classic, the best time to kill that you can get is 296 milliseconds if you hit 2 headshots in a row, which can be especially hard at range. As for the most consistent time to kill against anyone with 150 HP, I'll be giving that to the Ghost, as it has the same time to kill as the Classic, but has a higher damage than the Classic, so it typically doesn't require as many shots as the Classic or other pistols in the game do. For a TLDR, if you like to click heads and one-tap the out of people, then the Sheriff is likely the gun to choose in every scenario when you want to buy a pistol or sidearm. In the case that an enemy has 100 HP, you'll likely want to go for the Ghost since it has a one-shot kill potential at that HP, and it is still forgiving in the time to kill department if you need more shots to kill. If your enemy has 125 HP, then the Frenzy may be a great choice as its time to kill can be very quick if you land a couple headshots, and the time to kill stays very consistent overall. As for your enemy having 150 HP, This can be a toss-up between the Sheriff or the Ghost. This is because the Sheriff will still maintain that one-shot potential at its optimal range, allowing you to put someone in the dirt quick, but the Ghost has a more consistent and forgiving time to kill than the Sheriff at that same HP. That's it for the sidearms, and if you made it this far into the video, please drop a like because you're an actual homie for sticking through all those brain-numbing numbers and stats. While you're at it, please consider subscribing to see more Valorant content, sharing this video if you're a fan of Valorant, and feedback and comments are always appreciated down below. And I hope you have a badass day, of course. Kango out.